That's fine by me.
I mean, honestly, honestly, it's more about just having fun than streaming it, but I want to give people a chance to show up.
For sure, for sure. And plus, I bet there's people that want to see how this story ends.
For sure. We've still got a bit to go. I was talking about this with you just the other day. It's like I feel like we're probably either halfway or close to halfway through at this point. So you can imagine based on that we probably have about 7 more sessions. Like 7 or 8 more sessions would be my guess.
You reckon?
I reckon.
That's pretty big for a campaign.
That's actually pretty short for my campaigns.
I mean, the only campaigns I've heard of are the ones that last years, so.
I
Those are
don't like
rare.
Yeah, I don't like those kinds of campaigns because it's those are symptomatic of a particular kind of mentality you see a lot amongst Dungeons and Dragons players where like they want D&D to function like an never-ending game of Dungeons and Dragons. They don't really want there to be like or like a never-ending game of Diablo. They never really want there to be like stakes or like a story or anything. They just want the DM to put an infinite amount of monsters with an infinite amount of excuses in front of them. And I'm like, no, thank you.
The
Well, I
story
mean,
has an end.
Yup.
yeah, that's
No.
sort of seen as like the platonic ideal for some tables that I see a lot of players sort of wanting, but again, like you almost never see that.
Not these days. That was super, super, super common, and it still is pretty common. But that was super common when I first started getting into D&D. But most of those groups, because their whole goal is to play forever, they don't have any new people ever coming in, so
Mhm.
nobody hears about those groups anymore.
Well, like they've started in the 70s and then just never stopped.
Yeah, exactly.
Apart
Secret
from
of
that
the place.
time
Hello.
when it was, like, illegal to play in America.
Oh, it, it was
It was
never illegal, but
illegal?
no, it was never illegal. She's talking about the Satanic Panic. There was a
I
huge
love
push
that.
of like crazy people demonizing D&D. You know how it is, the propaganda machine and all that garbage. But anyways, how are you
Honestly
doing today, Secret? Sorry, what was that?
oh, I was just gonna say, honestly, I can't look forward to I can't look forward I can't words, but I look forward to I can't words help. I look forward to playing another character.
Words.
Ah, yes.
But there's can't in that sentence, but I can't remember how to put it in.
Doing
Have
all
you
right. Good
thought?
to hear. Good to hear. Have you? Were you about to ask? Have you thought at all about what you're going to play next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember in that drawing game ages ago I did with you, and I drew that I think
The cat.
Nephilim paladin,
Yeah,
but she
yeah,
had like a giant axe wearing underwear.
yeah, yeah. I remember her.
I feel like she would be really fun to play.
Maybe, maybe. All right. I feel like we're gonna wait another minute for people to come in, and once that minute is up, we'll go ahead and just get started.
I'm drawing my new picture for the roll 20.
Oh, for your avatar.
Yep,
I'm
I put
too
the
lazy
line
to
art
update
done.
mine.
Oh
I just
shit! Echo.
what?
I had a I had the stream open in a tab.
Oh,
Rookie mistake.
Only for a split second. Only for a split second. No need to worry. Well,
We will be doing
I've
a recap, right?
yes, I'll be doing a recap. I didn't have a chance to sit down and rewatch the last episodes, and it's been 8 months, so I might not get every detail right, but it should be good. It should be sufficient enough. I
For sure, for sure.
mean, I made this shit up at the beginning, right? Yeah,
Just wing it.
yeah. There is no such thing as an authority when all the rules are made up. Okay. welcome everyone to the return of Rebels and Runaways. And welcome back to the world of Domicile. When we last left our heroes, they had ventured to the mysterious Valkiwa Caves. And while there, they encountered some strange happenings. It seemed as the rumors that they had been hearing had been confirmed that the denizens of the cave, a mysterious race of storm gods, had been driven mad. But while exploring through the cave, they encountered a strange character by the name of Haxonimus. Nushi behaved relatively mysteriously around this character, keeping a tight lip about why she seemed so uncomfortable in his presence. But over time, they were able to convince this individual to go away with a clever duplicity. As they adventured deeper and deeper into the caves and discovered more of its mysteries and completed more of its trials, they eventually found themselves confronted by the mysterious Quetzalcoatl yet again. An individual who had been plaguing their adventure from the very beginning. In a combat with Quetzalcoatl, they found themselves overwhelmed, and eventually they were defeated, nay, killed by an overwhelming force of dragon's fire. As their consciousnesses faded, they suddenly found themselves awoke again, falling from the sky in the underworld itself. Eventually, they landed face first on the island of Charon, the ferryman of the River Styx. The island was made out of discarded coins of those who had bought passage on Charon's ferry over the millennias that the, souls of the living have existed. Taking a moment to look around, our heroes, shocked as to what was going on, took a moment for themselves, and that is where we left off last time, and that is where we will begin this time. All right, let's go ahead and pull up the screen. Boom. Y'all remember this. So, give me just a moment to describe your surroundings, if you'd be so kind. So, to the north, you spot a small multi-level cabin. You also see a well and a tree with black cotton-like leaves and apples that have the shape of a human skull. All around the island, you see this water. However, as you inspect it closer, you notice it's not quite like the water you're accustomed to in the prime material plane. It seems to lack depth. It seems to lack heft. It's almost like a colored air. Now, all around you, you hear the screams of the souls of people who have recently passed on, falling from the sky, and the sounds of bodies splashing in the water all around you. You look around, and you see Charon himself is nowhere to be seen. It appears as though you're in luck. You might have an opportunity to maybe explore your surroundings a bit before your final fate and judgment is to come. So what do we do, gang?
Oh my. I don't
I'm
know.
I'm just kind of on the ground in disbelief.
Yeah, no, I'm still trying to process a lot.
A nice snip.
Yeah, sure. Secret remembers this. Yeah. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me. Oh, actually, that's right. I have your character sheet. Let me pull that up real quick. Uh, duh.
6.
Oh, you have your character sheet too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sweet. So roll a d20 and add 6, I guess.
Does it /roll?
Slash roll 1d20 plus 6. Or it's not slash roll, it's slash r, right?
Oh, it can be
both.
slash roll or R.
Oh, okay. All right. With that roll, you actually do pick up a scent. Coming from the the house to the north, you detect a familiar smell. The smell of canines.
Nushi looks up because she's on the floor and she's like, just because death's on her mind, she looks at Beru and she's like, are your kneecaps actual human skulls? I've never looked at them properly before.
I think they're. I don't know. I just bought these without thinking about it.
As you examine them closer, Nushi, you notice that they are more than likely just sculpted to look like that and are made of metal.
Oh,
I'm not sure if I feel reassured or not.
wait, where did the scent come from?
The house to the north.
Oh, can I go to the house and rip the door open?
I mean, you can go to the house and attempt to rip the door open.
Okay, I will do that.
All right, go ahead and move your character for me.
How?
Oh, did I not give permissions?
Oh, we can't. Yeah, can't move our pieces.
Hold on. I'll fix it.
You have the blessed mind of a pup.
I am paralyzed with fear.
Yeah, but you're going to get over that real fast.
All right, the door. I'll rip it open.
All right. Go ahead and roll. Everybody's tokens are available now. Go ahead and roll a strength check for me. That's a d20 plus your strength modifier. Also, I stumbled through that introduction real bad. You can tell I'm rusty.
We all are. It's okay.
When
We
we
all
were
have brain
playing
damage.
last, I was doing a bunch of like reading the dictionary to like beef up my vocabulary, and this time I said like the same word like 3 times in a row.
25.
25. Wow. So you rolled like a 19 or something, huh?
Wait,
18. Yeah.
my strength
Wow.
is 17,
Good
right?
roll. You add your modifier, not your strength score itself. So the score to the number to the right of the strength.
Right.
I think it's like a +5 or something.
Oh, sorry. So I rolled an 8 plus 5.
Okay, so you didn't do a very good job.
Sorry.
That's okay. We haven't played in like 8 months. So you reach out and you grab the door and you try to rip it off its handles, but then you realize that it's just unlocked.
Oh. No.
That means you can go in. We're welcome.
Go in.
So what's everyone else doing?
I'm. Oh, you go first.
I was gonna say, I'm looking at the well.
So inside the well, you see that same strange ethereal water inside that seems to lack any form of heft or like tangibility to it. There's
Yeah.
a rope and a crank.
Does it look used?
Does it look like the well has been used?
Like recently, or does it just look really abandoned?
Oh no, it looks like it's hard to tell exactly, but it looks like it's had its fair use. its fair share of use. But knowing that you've never been on any plane of existence outside of the prime material plane, you don't really know off the top of your head if dust would be a thing in this world.
Fair enough. I poke the water.
Just as its appearance suggests, it seems to lack any tangibility to it. As you put your hand down in it, it makes the noises you would expect water to make, and it creates ripples, but you feel no resistance and no temperature change. It is as if it is simply a colored air-like substance.
I found some noisy air.
What?
It's noisy air. I start splashing it.
What does noisy air mean?
I splash it towards Ingrid. It's air, and it's noisy.
Stop splashing it on me.
Are you wet though?
Wait, am I?
You don't feel any sensation like wetness.
I want to splash it at Beru. But Beru's inside, isn't he?
By now, probably, yeah.
I want to know if it makes wet dog smell.
Dog.
What happens if you drink it?
Oh,
You know, I nearly drank that liquid that kind of teleported you elsewhere, and I'm not keen on drinking mysterious liquids anymore.
That's reasonable.
Hello, Oven. Hello, Dexy. All right, gang. Anything else we want to inspect while we're out here?
Nope. I'm joined up with Biru at this point. He seems like he has the right idea.
Yeah, I think
Okey
we're all
dokey.
feeling cautious.
Fair, fair. Okay, well then we're gonna go ahead and move on inside. I might have to give everyone permissions for their tokens again.
Wait, can you just copy paste the tokens from the last screen?
Probably, but I think this image is at a different resolution, so probably faster to just do this.
Gotcha.
Y'all are just gonna have to deal. No, I'm kidding. I need to go get water. Oh wait, I have water right here. Doy. All right. So, the first thing you see upon entering the building, you guys can move your tokens now if you want, is that there's this large fountain that looks like sort of a simplified sculpture of a monster's mouth. And I think the music got louder. Let me check. Yeah, it did get a little louder. Let me turn the music down just a little bit. All right. Actually, as we're moving into this sort of unknown, I feel like we need a different kind of music. So there we go. All right. So what do we do, gang? So we see it's got that sort of purple water in it again.
I examined the skeleton arm poking out.
So real
weird.
quick, just to
I
be
can't move my
sure,
character.
you can't move your guy. I could have swore I fixed him. Hold on. Let me fix him for you.
Fixed him.
That was actually what I was about to ask. I was about to ask, is something wrong, bro? Okay, there we go. You can move him now. You're welcome. Okay, so it appears to be a dismembered arm, quite a large one, as a matter of fact.
Oh, I gave it a
Oh.
handshake.
As you, sure, why not? Shake the arm, doesn't respond in any way. As you get closer, you notice something kind of strange about that fountain. On the top left-hand side of it, there's a little hole just about the size of your average gold coin.
Do we still have our possessions with us?
You appear to, yes.
That's weird.
Did my dragons die?
No, as you guys start thinking about these things and checking your possessions, you find them in your bag, but they have a different sort of property to them than you guys do. As you guys are starting to look around and pay more attention, you notice that your bodies seem slightly incorporeal, slightly see-through. But your dragons, they don't have that going on. They hitched a ride into the afterlife with you, it seems.
I have
Oh,
some concerns.
those poor things.
Well, actually, I want you, Nushi, to roll a perception check since you're looking at them.
Okay, what is perception?
It's a skill, so it's going to be on your skill sheet. It's that red
Yep.
box on the right.
And
Roll a
D20?
d20. Yep, add your perception skill.
My keyboard's in such a bad spot. 17.
17. Perfect. So you notice that something strange is going on with your dragons. You remember in the past how you were informed that dragons grow by feeding psychically, or I guess less psychically and more osmosisly, off of ambient magic in the environment around them, which is why being around you sort of kickstarted their growth process, because as a magic user, you radiate natural magic. However, you're noticing that they're growing faster than ever before. In fact, they're growing fast enough at this moment that you can physically watch them change in size and actually notice it.
This is concerning.
Yeah. And it's at this point you start to realize that there's so much magic in the area around you right now that you can almost taste it.
Quick question, because there's so much
Mhm.
magic and I can almost taste it. Does that mean I still have a limit on spells?
Yes. Spell limits is not about how much magic force you have. It's about how much the process of using magic takes out of your natural occurring metabolic energy as like a biological creature.
But if I'm breathing, I'm digesting the magic.
Taste the
Eat
magic.
The magic. Can I use spells?
No. In
Well,
other words,
no,
using a spell is like running a mile.
uh,
You get tired when you do it.
Well, thinking of magic, I remember Mage Hand, and I decide to pull out the skeleton using Mage Hand.
All right. You pull the skeletal arm out of the fountain. It's a dismembered arm, all right.
Is there
So,
a
big arm,
handshake?
though.
Did you say you're giving it a handshake?
Yeah.
is that Moth Fountain? What's up, Admiral Supernova?
Can I carry
s-
the arm with me?
Beru,
Sure.
drop it. Drop it.
No,
Playing tug of
keep
war
it
with
with
Mage
me.
Hand and so the let's clarify what you guys see. So up to the north, you see a slight separation between this wall and the next wall, creating a pathway into the next room and a green carpet. To your right, you see a door leading to another room.
I knock, and then I kind of jiggle the handle. I'm just like, hello?
You don't hear a response from the other side, but the door opens, or the handle is clearly unlocked.
I go in and kind of get a shock at whatever the hell this stuff is.
All right. So let's talk about what this stuff is. Up on the top leftmost jar, you see a disembodied giant's heart. The next one over is a pair of lungs. The next one over from that is a disembodied massive eyeball. The one on the bottom leftmost side appears to be a furry hand of some kind. The one in the center at the bottom appears to be some kind of tentacle, and the one on the far bottom is clearly empty. I want you to do a knowledge arcana for me, please. And don't forget to add +2 because of your bardic knowledge.
Yep.
That thing that we realized just before we started playing that we have never done before.
No, she's smarter than we realized. Though I already have an idea of what I want to do. 20.
You got the bard education.
28. I got the street
All right.
smarts.
That's a really high roll. With that roll, you are able to positively identify what that furry hand is. That is what's known is a magical artifact known as a monkey's paw. It is
Oh,
a
shit.
cursed magic item that allows you, the user, to cast a spell known as Limited Wish for as many digits as the hand has. This one appears to have how many digits did I give that thing? Hold on, let me look at it real close. Let me get real close on in there. Appears as though it has 4 digits. So that would be capable of casting 4 limited wish spells, which are incredibly powerful spells. However, it's a cursed object. A monkey's paw a wish casted on a monkey's paw almost always comes with a unforeseen future consequence. Typically a cruel, ironic one too. However, it is really powerful. So a hero might choose to use such a thing if they were desperate enough.
I'm going to take it with the thought that I can probably sell it to a collector in the future if I ever get out of here.
Nice.
Or someone down here might be desperate enough for it.
Nice.
Also, Ingrid, do you still have any of those hearts from earlier?
Hearts?
You remember
You guys
the
took some hearts out of the air elementals. However, they gave them all to you, Nushi.
I handed them to Ingrid at one point.
Oh.
I
Good one.
listened to last episode.
Oh, okay.
I have 8 rations, golden dragon egg.
You would have 2 of them.
Yeah.
So there would be 2 storm god hearts.
I don't see any on my character sheet, but if I have them, I should have them, I guess.
Yes.
I was going to
Correct.
suggest we put one of them in the empty jar.
Donate one.
Yeah, you take something, you give something.
I'm not gonna try and reason that, but sure, take the heart. It's yours anyways.
Okay, put the heart in the jar.
All right. So, other than that, there appears to be a collection of barrels and crates in this room. They don't seem to be particularly, of interest.
Smash.
However, yeah, there you go. All right. Since you're wielding like an iron or like a metal like mace,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bother having you roll for that. This is just regular old wood.
Okay.
So you smash through this stuff, and inside you find a collection of what appears to be food, but these food items are odd.
Hey, Appa, I'm just going to make you pause for a moment.
Mhm.
Our characters keep blinking in and out of existence.
I've noticed. It seems to be some kind of error. It seems to
Yeah.
happen anytime I click on the it seems to happen anytime I click on the browser tab to see what's going on in the browser. We're just going to have to deal with it.
Okay.
All
Anyways.
right.
Continue.
So these food items are odd. They seem to be preserved in the same way that food is on the prime material plane. That's how you can tell it's food. But it's things like the giant proboscis of a mutated butterfly and let's say the toes of a ferret
Ah.
and like extremely strange stuff like the testicles of a newt. Like you can't figure out why anyone would want these things and why anyone would want to preserve them.
Am I able to use any of my knowledge?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and knowledge planes.
Planes.
Delicious.
17. Drop
All
it.
right. So with a roll like that, you know that magical reagents can vary depending on the kind of magic that's being used. And that book you read a few days previously on occult magic, specifically magic that originates from the demi-plane of dread known as Ravenloft, is known for being particularly bizarre and incredibly difficult to understand because by its very nature it lacks logic. So you might be able to extrapolate between those two things that you know that maybe these are being used as magical reagents of some kind, or perhaps it's just food and whoever lives here has a really weird palate.
Well,
I
they
think
also
we should
collect
leave it.
organs, so
Please don't remind me.
I'll take it.
What are you taking?
All
Taking
of
all of
it.
it?
All of it.
All of it. Nice.
I'm not hungry. You can have it.
Does
Isolated.
it even
What's up?
smell good?
No. It smells mostly like salt. All right. So you gather up a bunch of that stuff. Where to now, gang?
I'm massaging my temples.
Go
I'll go
to
ahead
the
and check
carpet.
out the. Yeah.
All righty.
I slowly follow. Just been like shaking my head, going, why?
In this next room, you see two doors, one underneath the stairwell, a stairwell leading up to another floor, a desk, a bookshelf with a book on top, and with a planter that appears to be growing a plant that in place of flowers or buds or fruits appears to have eyeballs that are looking in every which direction.
They're looking at me.
As you approach, yes, they all sort of look at you, but they're not looking at you steadily. They're shaking and they appear to, it's almost like they have energy they can't contain.
I wave.
They kind of mimic your movement as you wave.
I use my cup to get some of the air water and I
Sure.
pour it on them.
They all kind of coo and move up towards the water as you do, almost as if they're happy to be watered.
Good. Eyeballs. Pat.
Eyeball.
So there's also a bookshelf there and a desk.
I noticed the big book up top.
All right. Gonna take a look at it?
I suppose.
Sweet. So you pick it up and it's got this green felt and it doesn't appear to have any title or anything. What the fuck? Hold on. What the hell is that?
Huh?
Why is MF Doom playing? God damn it,
Whoa.
YouTube. The
Lo-fi
loop
MF Doom.
button. Yeah, the loop button is supposed to mean loop the playlist. What the actual
Oh, that's been happening to me too on YouTube. I think YouTube's kind of broken right now.
Yeah, it is. I'm like, why is MF Doom playing?
Surprise
Okay,
guest
we're just
appearance.
it's a little inappropriate for the mood, but we're just gonna play some generic fantasy music for right now.
If you right click a video, there's a loop option.
Yeah. But again, it's the loop playlist that seems to be broken, and I don't want to just loop one song forever. That's okay.
Fair enough.
It's just about having fun. So, all right, so you look at this book. It doesn't have like a cover or a title on it anywhere. Maybe it's just a fancy journal. And as you open it up, you can tell that that is, in fact, what it is. Inside, there is a bunch of scrawl. It's written in common, but it's written really messy. It's almost like chicken scratch. It's really hard to read. But as you take, the time to kind of read it, you can tell that this is a journal that belongs to Charon himself, the ferryman of the River Styx. This seems to be the place where he has been recording his thoughts.
Without like going into too much detail, because obviously, I get the impression I'm just kind of flipping through the pages. Does anything catch my attention? Because I don't want to full on read, but I want to know if something catches my attention. Because I feel
Yeah,
bad it's
for
someone's
sure.
diary.
The general mood of actually, you know what? Yeah, the general mood of this book seems to be one of anger.
Oh dear.
Charon seems extremely irritated by what to him is a clear and obvious injustice. He seems to be very feverishly trying to calculate what the value of a human soul actually is. Or what a mortal soul actually is, because he's getting 2 copper pieces on average for each person he ferries, and he seems convinced that the value of his work is much higher than that.
That's a very fair opinion. I decide to go to the latest page that's been written to see if I can work out where he is.
It says that after millennia, epochs of studying the actual transitory value between each individual atomized part of a mortal soul and a mortal body in conjunction to precious metals, he has concluded that he is indeed getting shafted, and he has decided to leave his job post. He walked off the job. The man appears to be striking.
How much
Wow.
did he write down how much he worked out a human soul is worth?
Actually, yes, he came to the conclusion that it is priceless. There is no proper conversion rate between the two.
I close the book, pull it back, and I'm like, we're either fucked or we're in a good spot, guys.
You can read all of that.
I read some of it. I feel bad intruding on another person's diary.
So he's not here.
No.
I will smash the
He's
table.
AWOL. But he believes that souls are priceless. So I don't know. I think we can convince him, hopefully, to help us out, but I don't know.
Well, wait a second. He left his ferry here. Does that mean could we just use it?
I don't know. I mean, I've already taken a monkey paw.
Wait, what's a monkey paw?
It's a monkey hand.
What's a monkey?
They're an animal, Ingrid. You worked in the circus. How have you not seen monkeys?
Oh, right. Never mind. What does a monkey's paw do, though?
It can give you powerful wishes, but it's horribly cursed.
Just any monkey can give you wishes? What's this about?
Do I know how they're made?
You do know that it's much more complicated than just cutting off a monkey's paw.
Okay, yeah, it's really complicated. Look, I'm smart. You know I'm smart. Trust me, it's complicated.
Can you eat the
You
monkey
give me
paw?
whiplash, Ingrid.
Magic
So, gang,
monkeys.
we gonna check anywhere else out?
I smash the table.
I was
If
gonna
you
check
want
it
to.
first.
Yeah, please don't smash everything, Beru. This is someone's home.
Oh, let me loot it first, and you can smash it. I don't care.
That's how I loot. I smash stuff first.
I'm conflicted because, like, again, I saw the monkey's paw, but I'm also like, we shouldn't just be stealing from someone's house.
Well, hold on. This isn't someone's house. This is company property. That means it's okay.
But it's filled with their stuff.
So as you check the desk, you find pretty basic stuff like an inkwell and a writing pen. Although it is a really fancy writing pen, you're coming from poverty in the circus. You're not used to actually seeing pens. You typically, if you do write, it's with a quill. So this thing is pretty fancy for you.
It's like a ballpoint pen.
What?
Just
No,
a
not
modern day
quite.
ballpoint pen. And we're like, wow,
Technology.
black
it's a pretty
magic.
it's a pretty ancient dip pen. Oh, well, it's modern in this setting, but it would be ancient to us out of game. Other than that, nothing really. A few notes scrawled on pieces of paper here and there. A few like calculations trying to equivalate the value in precious metals of things like eyeballs and hearts and lungs and bones and like the magical ley lines that exist within things and stuff like that.
You could like build a person with all the material we have here.
You
Yeah,
probably could.
I'm reading it, trying to absorb, and my brain just kind of hurts.
I
Absorb
sigh, then
knowledge.
shut the desk.
My
All right,
hand was in
Beerus.
there.
Ow! All right, Barry, you still want to smash the desk?
Yes.
Oh
All
my
right, you
god.
smash the desk.
Yay.
It's just a bunch of splintered wood now.
Wow,
That was very
splintered
fun to
wood.
see.
Hey Ingrid,
Hmm.
what if you take some of this wood and use it in the coin slot on the fountain?
How does that make any sense?
I don't know, like picklocking kind of thing.
Well, I have my wallet with me, right?
Yeah, your coin purse, sure.
I jog over to the fountain and I put in a gold coin.
All right, as you do, the fountain the water inside the fountain starts to glow, and as you listen to the sound of the coin falling down and tumbling through the mechanics inside of the fountain, the water glows more and more, and then a burst of light comes out of it, burst of like purple energy, if you will. And when you guys fell, you all kind of took some damage from hitting this metal island, right? If I remember right, you could taste blood in your mouths. The sort of like the traumatic injury that your teeth made against your lips inside your mouth heal as you get hit by this thing.
Ooh, nice.
I walk over and also put a
Sideways.
coin in. I was peeping around the wall. I wish to be a little less dead. So, yeah.
You put another coin in, but nothing really seems to happen.
Oh.
So did only Ingrid heal?
No, you all did.
Oh, okay.
nice.
So that pointless coin
Yeah.
loss. Bye. I mourn its loss.
Well, I'll put it this way. Biru, you know that arm you're carrying?
Yeah.
Both of the times that it got hit by this burst of energy, you noticed that some flesh started growing back on it.
Whoa. Cool. Arm weapon.
You know, in vending machines, how they have that little pocket for when coins don't go through properly?
Yep.
Does this have that?
Nope.
Ah!
Here, I give you 1 gold coin.
Thank you.
All right, team. We're off to next.
The basement.
You mean the door underneath the stairwell?
Yeah.
All right. So you check the handle. It's unlocked. You open the door, and inside is not a basement, but a tiny storage space underneath the stairwell. Inside, you see a massive collection of buckets of what appears to be very generalized, like kibble, like the bits of like meat that you would cut off of something but not really use. In medieval times or pre-industrial times, this stuff would usually be used to feed pets.
Ooh.
I'll
Convenient.
give the kibble to the eyeballs.
They don't really seem to respond to it.
Oh.
They just kind of look at it confused.
I grab another cup of air water and give it to Beardo.
Wait, what?
So you can water the eyeballs.
That's too much water. You're gonna kill them.
Wait, I don't know
Sure.
that. I will empty the bucket and bring the bucket with me.
All right.
Bucket.
I'll wear it on my head.
Bucket hat.
Protection.
All right. So where? Bucket helmet. Where off to next, gang?
I head out to the back door, see what's out there.
I follow.
All right. So you approach this door in the back of the room, and as I turned your character. I don't know how I did that. Hold on. Let me set you back to normal.
Oh, that was from me earlier.
Oh.
Because earlier I was peeking around the corner.
So in this room you see you basically see a sort of generic chemistry set, a collection of books. Again, a bunch of mad scrolling trying to assess the actual transcendental value between precious metals and both biological mass, soul mass, and magical mass that makes up a living being in this universe.
You know, I'm just now starting to think about it, but this is pretty valuable information, right? This scientific confirmation that a soul is like infinite in value.
Yes. This would literally, if anybody believed you, which can be very difficult to do when trying to teach scientific information to ignorant folk, but if anybody believed you, this stuff would change the way both religious institutions and magic users look at the world.
Nushi, do you still have, well, you have a diary. These books go through like all the actual science and mathematics, right?
Yes.
Could I even assess which ones are like the most important?
Probably not.
Can I?
Probably not.
Really?
No. What I would say is this is your continuity mind speaking. Why don't you try and use that gem to see if you can summon Nystel, because he has a spell which he can use to store things.
Yeah, I was thinking that actually.
Oh, right.
But I'm conflicted about summoning him because he was already dead. And now we're in
But
the
he can
world of
help
the
us
dead.
here.
And then the dragons aren't dead. And I'm like, is something bad going to happen?
Would he be alive
Speaking-
if we brought him here?
Who knows? Speaking of the dragon, since you're thinking about them, last you checked, they were about as heavy as like a really big potato. Now they're about as large. They've grown in size so much that they're now about as heavy as like a really big cantaloupe.
Like the fruit?
Like the fruit, yeah. So not
That's a
a
lot
huge
smaller
change
than
in
I thought.
Yeah, not a huge change in size, but considering only a few minutes has passed, concerning.
Appa,
Okay.
Yes.
I'm looking at my inventory and I have a golden dragon egg.
Yep.
Is there anything happening with that?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you are noticing that there seems to be some activity inside.
God, not another one.
A little concerning.
But, I mean, these ones were the size of potatoes and they destroyed a whole forest.
Yeah. Dragons are scary.
Oh, God. I grabbed the crystal of Nystel.
All right. So, attempting to summon Nystel, the crystal glows, and you see the space that comprises the space around the crystal begins to distort, and you see a projection appear from it that appears to be the projection you're used to seeing of Nystel. However, it's way, way less tangible than usual, and it's sort of distorting and warping around like he's having a really hard time staying in place. You hear him speak but his voice sounds as though it's echoing through a steel pipe. And he goes, "Hello. What can I do for you?"
You okay, nice doll?
Says, "It is difficult to project into this particular uh why is my brain plane of existence. I am not meant to be here."
If you're not meant to be with us, where are you meant to be?
It's all like, "Oh, the plane of existence that." Hold on. Why won't he place? There he goes. He says, "The plane of existence that is my chosen afterlife is one much less pleasant than this one. I did some pretty awful things in life."
But you also did a lot of good things, right?
Next question.
Okay.
Do a flip.
Can you? Or you go, Beru.
Do a flip.
No. No, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
Can you use your backpack here by chance?
Yes. I cannot stay here much longer, though, so whatever it is you need, make it quick.
Take all the books.
Very well. Puts his hands out in front of him, conjures some of this like strange astral void energy. It's sort of this soup of black and stars, and a cube appears. The top of it opens up, and he points it towards the bookshelf, and they start being sucked in as though something would be sucked into a black hole. And he manages to shut it off just in time before it rips the entire bookshelf off the wall.
nice.
He turns to you and
Thank you.
says, "Is there anything else before I leave?"
Guys, anything else?
So we're dead.
It
How do
appears
we
that
fix
way.
that?
That's a lot harder than you think.
I mean, you did pretty close.
Well, that's because I was an extremely accomplished magician before I died. You all died very young. The arcane secrets I possess that you would need in order to astral project to the prime material plane or any other plane from the afterlife, you simply don't possess even a tenth of the knowledge you would need. However, I cannot offer practical help getting you out of your current predicament, as I myself am not even powerful enough to resurrect. However, I can offer information. Do you have any questions about the plane you find yourself in, or anything else?
Uh, Tell me more about like what exactly this plane is and what its purpose is.
This is known as the River of Styx. It's also been referred to as the River of Limbo. This particular plane of existence is used as a gateway of judgment for souls who have been judged to be more or less neutral in their morals and ethics. Typically, those who find themselves here will be ferried to the underworld by Charon, where they will become the source of power for the god known as Hades.
Is that the
You,
only destination?
No, a much, much more difficult path is against the tide. Heading back in the opposite direction of the tide, a soul, if it were powerful enough and strong enough and determined enough to brave the tide itself and push all the way up the cascading waterfalls at the other end of the river, they may find themselves in a place known as Elysium.
Is there any what advice could you give to someone who would try to go into Elysium?
Well, I would tell you to not even bother trying, honestly. Most people who attempt never make it, and those who do typically spend thousands of years fighting the current. And those who succeed are only ever some of the strongest demigods to ever live. However, now that I'm thinking about it, there is a third option.
You have a motorized magic boat engine?
No.
Dang.
Seeing as where you are currently, you could, if you so desired, head to Charon's basement, where the oubliette of lost souls is. Those who are considered too volatile, too deranged, or too powerful by the gods themselves, those they see as threats, or even potentially as too unpredictable to keep around, are typically sent there, of all places. That you may find a soul there, knowledgeable enough in the ways of magic to give you something resembling hope. They might know something I do not. However, I warn you, the oubliette of lost soul. No one has ever escaped once descended.
I like those odds.
Do you think that flute we got for the Goblin Girl would help us?
No.
I didn't think it would. I thought it was worth asking.
I want you all to make perception checks.
Sure. I got a 24.
Wow, that's good.
Nat 20. Hey.
Hey, you might actually. Never mind, I'll get to that in a second.
I got 14.
Not bad. Biru?
13.
Also not terrible. So every one of you feel this like pain, like this like aching pain, like this pressure pain in your skull. And you hear like this ringing, and your eyes like sort of start to black out, like you're losing focus, almost like you're about to lose consciousness. It's comes on so fast and is so aggressive. You have nothing to do but to just sort of grasp at your head and hope it goes away. And as this is happening, you hear the strangest of sounds. You hear the sounds of someone digging in dirt with a shovel echoing in your head.
What the
Ingrid,
heck?
however, because you got such a high score, you hear what sounds like a familiar voice. You can't quite place it, but you hear the panting of vocal cords. You don't hear actual words, but you hear the panting, the labored panting of vocal cords you're familiar with. And then just as soon as the sensation started, it starts to drift away. Also,
Whoa.
Ingrid, you notice one other thing. Taped to the underside of one of the shelves in that bookshelf is what appears to be a very small pocketbook.
All right, I take a look at it.
You open it up, and on the inside, it says, "The Judgment of Souls by the Powers That Be." And as you look through it, you notice that in incredibly tiny print is what appears to be every name you could possibly comprehend or think of, and every combination of names, and next to it, a date and a cause of death. When you go to the very last page, you find your name, Biru's name, and Nushi's name. Cause of death, date today, cause of death, dragon's fire. However, you notice something quite strange. You saw a few of these as you flip through the book, but you don't know what they mean. Next to your names is an asterisk.
An asterisk. Does
Yep.
does that mean it's not confirmed yet?
I don't know. It doesn't say in the book what that means.
I don't suppose we can just erase it.
Big brain.
I mean, we've got the pen. We could change the date.
Oh, that's a solution.
That is pretty sneaky. I like it.
Should we
Yes,
change
I
the
will.
date? Say there's been a mistake, as you can see here.
Can we all change it to like add 100 years onto it?
Sounds good to me. Should we?
Well, yeah, why not? The other options aren't seeming too delightful at this moment.
Head
Who
empty.
has a good skill in forgery?
Wait, I might. Hold on.
Yeah, isn't forgery one of your main skills?
I think so. Let me look at my skills again. Bluff, disguise, intimidate, knowledge. Would linguistics count?
You can use linguistics for forgery, sure.
Because I'm not seeing a forgery skill. I'm not sure what else would work for that.
That's okay. I'm probably thinking of some other rogue I played with before.
Would sleight of hand maybe be it?
Sleight of hand, again, can be used for forgery. Both of these skills can be used for forgery, but they're not as good as the forgery skill itself.
What
There's
about
like a two.
disguise?
No, that wouldn't work.
Could I use the forgery? Could I use the sleight of hand skill instead? Because that's higher.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Cool, cool. Let's give this a shot.
There's a penalty of -2.
-2. Okay, so one second.
Take your time.
I want Ingrid to try it on a piece of paper first, and then I want to use appraise on it.
24.
You know
Nat
what? Never
20.
mind. I probably don't need to use appraise on it.
Damn.
Nat 20. Dang.
2 times in a row.
Why did the music just die? That was so strange. Nat 20, nice. All right. Yeah, so you change what's written there. What do you change about it?
Um, when would y'all like to die?
That's a deep question.
Just if you had to pick a year, well, when would it be?
Shoot, I don't even know what my natural lifespan is. I'm not human.
What
Me
are
too.
you?
I don't know what I am. I just know I'm not human.
Could go like 1,000 years if you wanted.
What if that's too much?
It doesn't matter. This is a weird situation. Just pick a number.
Part of me really wants you to just write undetermined.
What, just like scribble it out, we never die?
No, I want to die one day when I'm ready to.
Oh, this is getting to a weird place. Would that even count?
You guys write your death dates. I need a moment to think. Nice doll, what am I?
You appear to be some sort of hybrid between a human and an air elemental, maybe? Or it's hard to tell exactly, honestly.
What me? What am I?
A
You
good
appear to be
boy.
a dog man.
Yay.
A very good boy.
Okay. Give me like 10 years and I still die happy.
Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Okay, 10 years for Biru. For me, oh, what's a good time? Okay, so I'm like 20 now, I think. I'll cap out at 80.
How long do air elementals live for?
Oh, well, the Varkinwa live forever. Unless they die in combat. Or, I guess, unless they die as the result of extreme physical trauma.
I start pulling at my hair.
It's like, however, a hybrid probably live for 500, 600 years would be my guess.
What?
You heard me.
Now I'm even more torn because the realization hits me that my friends will die long before I do.
Oof, that is a hard realization.
I guess we'll be down for 300 years.
300 years.
I can always kill myself early, right?
If you wish.
Damn, what the
Hey,
Just put a question mark. Just put a question mark.
infinity
question
symbol.
mark?
A question mark.
You know I'm doing forgery right now, yes?
Have a look through the pages to see if there's any other interesting dates.
Yeah, okay, alright. Take a moment. I flip through some of the other pages to find, like, abnormalities.
The strangest thing you see is some names will have an asterisk next to them, and some names will have two asterisks next to them.
What does 2 mean?
Is there seriously no codex anywhere? No notes on what this means?
Nope, not that you can find.
What about dates? Are there any, like, really weird-looking dates?
As you're looking through, roll me a percentile die, D100, and tell me what you get. There's something in that book that you might find, but considering that it has all lives in it up to this date, the odds that you stumble across one particular name is very low.
I rolled 100. Oh, there's something up. Hold
Well,
on.
you roll 100? What the fuck? Your dice are magic today. All right. Well, then in that case, you find a name you're extremely familiar with at this point. You find the name of Caligari Sr., Logan's father.
Oh, wait.
Yes.
Oh, they were a magician, weren't they?
Yes. And the numbers next to it, you've never seen anything like this before in the book. And no matter where else you look, you don't find anything like it at all. They keep changing. It's almost like you're watching like a rotating dial of numbers constantly just going.
Oh,
Can you do
goodness.
that? Can you write like that?
I can try.
Cut that part of the book out and paste it over Nushi's number.
No guarantees.
I guess the problem is I don't know what I am. I don't know how long someone like me truly lives.
Well, here's the thing. So, if for Biru it's 10 years and for me it's like another 60, does that mean that like no matter what happens we're all going to live to those ages, or like we could still die in between that time?
So I'll answer is Nystal. The nature of death is unknown to mortals. Unfortunately, there's no way to confirm whether or not fate is predetermined or whether or not things change as more becomes known.
You know what? What if
Huh.
you just cross our dates out and
What
put
kind of consequences would that have?
just put what was it? To be determined. So TBD.
Yeah, there you go. Why not?
What do you think, Biru?
Sure.
I imagine
Um,
Nice
Head
Dolls looking at
empty.
us like we're a bunch of idiots.
He doesn't know how to respond to this. Watching you have this, you see this look on his face that seems to suggest watching a group of individuals contemplating how long that they may live for is something he was not prepared to do today.
I will be living to 80. That is my intention. But for the rest of you, I'll do as you wish.
All right. So, where to now? As you guys wrap this up, you watch as Nystel's form begins to distort more violently, and then eventually he disappears. As he disappears, he reaches out as if he was trying to say something one last time, but it doesn't come out. I think that might be a reference to Discworld. It is not actually. I've read a little bit of Discworld, but I wouldn't be familiar with what that reference would be. All right, gang, what are we doing next?
Go outside. See a fishing pole.
Yeah, you can look outside, see this fishing pole. Those crates next to out there on the balcony are you're over the ocean right now, or you're over the river, and those crates are filled with strange alien-looking fish.
Sit on the crate and fish.
Why not?
I use the weird food as bait.
Good luck. It looks like Nushi's heading for the stairs.
At the moment, I'm just sitting on them, kind of contemplating if to be announced as the or to be determined the right choice.
Yeah,
This
no
is
going back now.
too big of a topic for like her brain right now. On a side note, if you use the kibble, no, because it's just like meat bits, isn't it? I was gonna say it was like dog food that's actually used as fishing bait sometimes.
Fish tend to grab at anything that looks like it might be or smells like it might be food. It's more instinct than actual thought.
True.
Did I catch anything?
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
Wait, we have organs here. You
You
could
do
use that as
indeed.
bait.
You
I
could.
will use the organ as bait.
There's lots of things you could theoretically use as bait. All right. Tell you what. Roll me a d20 and add your wisdom, or yeah, your wisdom modifier.
Do I have that?
You might not have a wisdom modifier. I don't know what your wisdom score is off the top of my head.
Do I just roll a d20 or -1?
A d20 -1 if that's what your wisdom modifier is. Because fishing is all a game of patience. We're testing to see how patient you are.
Yeah, minus. $11.
All right. You do not catch a fish.
Aw.
Aww. I'm
Okay.
sorry, Biru.
I smashed the crates out of anger.
My music playlist got messed up so bad. I'm gonna have to fix that after the stream. All right. So, all right, gang. What are we gonna do now?
Still haven't gone upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I
All
think
right.
Ingrid's approaching me to like comfort me,
No.
and I'm kind of like, you don't need to, and then yeah, she's like, no.
All
As she
right.
awkwardly climbs over me.
Don't get the wrong idea.
All
Little
right. So as
Mario
you
hop.
climb the stairs, once you get to the top, you notice a small private office, and you notice two dogs sitting in the
Doggos.
or lying in a bed in the corner. You've never seen canines of this particular nature. And as you start to come up the stairs, they sort of start sniffing at the air, and then they look at you, and they start to snarl.
Okay. I go back down to go
Nice.
get some of the
Yeah.
kibble.
Can I speed dog? Speak.
Uh,
Woof
No, but
woof.
you do have a uh, what is it called? You do have a handle animal skill, right? You
think I
could use
do.
that to try and pacify them.
I have that.
Yeah, you could try to.
Oh, okay. Well, I get the kibble, come back with it, and I use pacify animal.
Oh, right, you have the spell.
Very convenient.
What level spell is that?
First level.
And what's the save for first level spells for you?
14. And
All
also,
right.
I've got the kibble.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. So they start to snarl. They start to like get kind of angry. But with both you and with your magic and with Biru trying to pacify them, they calm down and they lay back down and they just kind of start to ignore you.
Oh,
What kind of dog is it?
can I hug it?
These are hellhounds. You can
I
try.
I hug Hellhound.
It doesn't particularly seem to mind. It doesn't seem to love being hugged.
Oh,
But it does seem to like the attention.
I start giving them pets as well.
They like that.
And I'm like, who's a good pooch?
I check
Pooch.
out
That's
this
very
desk over
racist.
I'm sorry, what's the correct term?
here.
I don't know if they're
Um,
boys or girls, so I thought pooch was a good blanket term.
so as you approach the desk, you notice that there's a candle on it. That candle is being held by what appears to be a mummified, pickled hand. Um, you don't know off the top of your head exactly what this is, but you remember hearing a legend when you were younger. Yeah, you remember hearing a legend when you were younger about these kinds of devices. There's some form of witchcraft.
What does it do?
You can't really remember.
Huh.
Do you have like a knowledge arcana or anything like that?
I might. No, I explicitly do not. I've got like 0.
Yeah, figured.
But I know that it has a function, supposedly.
Lies in the bed. Yes, you do know that. Nushi might be able to help.
I get Nushi's attention.
Huh, what?
Come over here for a second. Check
I
out this hand.
reluctantly. Oops, shoot. Okay, apparently I'm bleeding. I reluctantly walk away from the dogs.
All right. Does this hand ring a bell for you?
Did you say Arcana?
Yeah, knowledge arcana.
Kind of creepy, isn't it?
It's very creepy.
These things, yeah. We'll get into it if you get a good enough roll.
13.
What'd you get?
13.
All right. So do remember that you can you can attempt to do something up to 3 times before it's considered a complete failure. But before you do that, with a 13, what you know about this thing is that it's called a Hand of Glory. It the method through which it's created is incredibly gruesome and morbid. Um, Essentially, you have to use the fat of a innocent person who was hung to death to create the candle, and then you have to cut off the hand of their closest loved one and use that, mummify that, and use it to hold the candle. And if you do that properly, um, you can use this thing to open any locked door that you come across, no matter how it's locked, magical or otherwise.
Whoa.
Let's say it's not very neutral. For a neutral place, it's not very neutral.
Cool though.
I feel like you want me to re-roll.
Yeah, you can if you want.
Okay, that was even worse.
You can do it one more time
Okay.
if you want.
24.
Oh, wow.
I never
Okay,
knew
yeah,
about
that'll-
this rule before. You never let us know. So many times we could have tried.
There is one other power known to be attributed to this this particular device, and that is that if being wielded by a powerful enough magic user, you can use it to render any person you point at with it completely motionless.
Do I know what the price of using this is?
Well, there really isn't a price for using it, but there is definitely a price to one's immortal soul for making one.
I really don't want to touch it if I can help it, but Ingrid, if you want it, just don't put it near me, please.
Sure. I think I could manage that. I carefully pick it up by its stem,
All right,
hold
cool,
it like a torch.
sweet. Peru's just taking a nap.
Yeah.
Tuckered out.
Is there anything inside the desk?
Nope.
No. Anything in the wardrobe?
A bunch of brown and black robes.
What's the weather like?
Slightly chilly.
I decided to take a robe.
All right. Do you take one of the brown ones or one of the black ones?
Can I use a skill to appraise them?
No. I mean, you can just look at them and know they're not very valuable. Couple of copper pieces.
I was meaning more to see which one's going to help me more.
Oh, yeah. No, they're more or less exactly the same.
I'll go for black.
All right, cool.
You guys want a coat?
Is it cold?
A little bit. I mean, your characters are all wearing pretty. I mean, you're wearing the most clothes out of anybody in the group.
I got fur.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
Yeah, and Biru does have fur.
I think I'm good.
I put it on.
All right, gang. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, how do I look?
Look pretty good.
Does it give me any bonuses, Appa?
No. It's just a normal robe.
Dang. Okay.
I guess you could use it to survive a little bit longer in cold weather conditions.
Okay.
All right. What are we doing next, gang?
I check out this chest over here
No,
right
no,
next to
no.
me.
Let me destroy the top
Oh.
part with my leg.
Sure, go
Just
right
kick
ahead.
it. Just heel drop the chest.
Yes.
All right. So the top shatters, and inside you find a bunch of dogs' toys.
Hey guys, you're not gonna
Whoa.
believe this.
I'll take one.
There's like tug ropes. There's like little mice that squeak.
Take the mice.
Nice.
I just grab any one off the top of the pile and just kind of go over to the dogs, see if they react.
All right. Yeah, you grab the tug rope, and as you approach them, yeah, they both stand up excitedly, and they grab at the rope and start trying to pull, tails wagging and whatnot. Little
Nice,
sparks of
nice.
fire shooting out between the spikes in their fur.
Oh god.
Little dangerous, but very cute.
I want to see if there's enough kindling inside this furnace.
I'm glad you recognized that as a furnace. It's actually doesn't
Sorry,
have
this
any
deep sea dive helmet.
it actually doesn't have any kindling in it at all. What you're surprised by as you approach it, you realize that this is a steam powered furnace. This is much more technologically advanced than like you've heard of these things, but you've never seen one before. It's usually things like this are usually only owned by royalty.
Am I able to turn it on?
Yeah, if you want, there's a little nozzle right on the side of it that says on off.
Is there any
Whoa.
temperature control?
Nope.
I turn it on, and how hot does it make it?
It starts shaking, and it takes a little while before it warms up, but it warms the room up to a pretty nice, like, standard human living condition temperature.
Do the dogs
is
look
nice.
happier?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes me happy. I remove the coat because I'm getting too hot now.
All right, what now, gang?
I check out this door.
All right, just like every other door in the building so far, it's unlocked.
That's fair.
What am I looking at?
I throw up in my mouth a little.
So as you investigate the room, you see a lot of strange stuff in these jars. You see a bunch of like strange like limbs of strange creatures. You see like a bunch of tiny eyeballs. You see the undead remains or the dead remains of a fairy. You see a frog in one. Like there are lungs, there are hearts, there are tentacles. There's another monkey's paw. Um, and all the way over there in the corner of the room, there is a what looks like a milk like a milk jug, like a farm, like a the kind of milk jug you'd find at a farm. But there are like skeletal arms in it, and one is holding what appears to be a deck of tarot cards.
I jump back and I'm
Nushi,
like, whoa, that is not a broom.
Nushi, since you're over there looking at it, why don't you roll me a knowledge arcana to see if you can identify that deck of cards?
Well, for one, it's been held by a skeleton. That's a good reason not to. 23.
All right. You recognize it immediately upon seeing it. That particular deck of cards you're looking at right now is a deck of cards that only one of which exists in the entire planar cosmos and is the most infamous magical artifact ever discovered by wizards. Every magic user has heard tales of this. In fact, almost every person who's ever lived has heard tales of this particular deck of cards. This is known as the deck of many things.
Oh
Um,
my god.
the deck of many things is infamous for being completely without mercy. How it works is a person who holds it announces before they start drawing cards how many cards they're going to draw. And then they are magically compelled to continue drawing until they have drawn either that many cards or they have died. Every card in the deck has a very specific magical effect that happens upon being drawn. And there are half of the deck, exactly half, perfectly even number of cards, exactly half have positive effects, and exactly half have negative effects. You can the kinds of things that can happen as the result of drawing cards from the deck of many things are you can instantly be given a castle. You can instantly have a great knight swear allegiance to you as a lord. You can gain tons of wealth, or you can be, sent to a random dungeon and imprisoned anywhere in the multiverse, or you can be sent to the void, or literally death will appear and try to kill you. So or you can get wishes. There's all kinds of crazy things that can happen.
Do you have to be a wizard to use it?
No, anyone can use it.
Ingrid has a gambling skill, right?
Oh my god.
Oh.
Are you suggesting what I think you are?
No, I'm saying if we want them and you want to use them, you would probably be the best person to use them.
You do have
Oh.
a gambling skill.
Because that's essentially luck, right?
Yeah.
I've never actually heard anyone. I've never actually, in all my years of being a DM, I have never had anyone suggest using a gambling skill to help them with the deck of many things. I am tempted, because I know it's not in the spirit of the deck, to say that wouldn't work, but because I love the idea personally, I will say that I will slightly skew your chances of getting getting a good card if you get a good roll on your gambling skill before you draw the cards.
Okay, all right, I'll do it.
I'll say this, because some of the negative cards result in violent deaths, and you know this, the way this is going to work is that you'll notice that some of the cards maybe have been like tightly clutched by a dying person or have blood on them. So there are some cards that look slightly more suspicious than others, and only someone with the incredible eyes of a natural gambler would be able to notice that.
Oh,
Quick,
yeah.
check out the bad ones.
Just get all the bad ones out.
Nah, because if you pull out a card, that counts as drawing it.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
So, how many should we draw? One for each?
I'm wondering if we keep them and try and sell them to a collector of some sort, and then have them as backup, like the monkey paw. 'Cause I plan to sell the monkey paw. I might grab the other one.
Wait, you could use the monkey paw to influence the odds if you wanted.
I think that would not be in our favor. Monkey paws
Maybe.
are extremely cursed. Extremely cursed.
So, because you got a high roll, Nushi, you know that there are exactly 22 cards in the deck, and that exactly 11 of them are good, and exactly 11 of them are bad. Now, Ingrid, as a gambler, you know that basic logic would denote there is no number of cards you can draw from the deck of many things that would technically be considered safe. So the less you draw, the safer you are.
I feel like I could confidently do one, but what do the rest of y'all think?
Better?
Head empty.
Understandable.
You look inside Biru's head and it's just
He's just playing with the mice.
You can hear the squeaking.
just chewing on one.
I'm curious. I'm strongly curious. I really hate gambling, if you haven't been able to tell so far. it's so much risk. But I'm so curious.
There's a little voice in there's that little gambler's demon in the back of your head that's telling you to do it, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
Shall we-
already dead.
That's true. How we might even get out of here.
Reverse card.
What if we use that skeleton arm to draw the cards?
No, that's not how it works.
Why
You
not?
have to you have to declare an intention to draw. You have to declare how many cards you choose to draw, and then you are magically compelled to draw that many cards.
But what if I use ghost sound?
That doesn't work. The deck literally is like the cards are vacuum sealed to each other unless you use it correctly.
I say 2 cards? One for
2
each of us?
cards. Okay, all right.
And then I
Those
hide
are
behind the
reasonable
shelf.
odds.
Wow. Okay. Let's see what
Here
happens.
goes everything.
Hey everybody, we've got a live fucking deck of many things draw.
Okay, so how do I go about this?
Just announce out loud, I am going to draw a blank number of cards.
I am going to draw exactly 2 cards, no more than that.
Wow, that's risky. Okay, let's do it. Okay, I got
Don't
a
forget to
random
roll for
generator
gambling.
here. Whoa! No fucking way!
Did we fuck up?
No, this is actually awesome. Okay, so with a shaking hand, scared from an entire lifetime of being raised on cautionary tales about the deck, like parents tell their children nighttime horror stories about the deck of many things. You draw your first card. And as you slowly start to turn it over, you see on it an extremely intricately detailed, sort of graphically designed depiction of the sun. And as Ingrid draws this card, the rest of you watch as Ingrid's eyes are suddenly start glowing bright yellow like the sun itself. And Ingrid, in your mind is suddenly assaulted with experiences and visions of other people's lives from all over the cosmos, from different times, from times so far in the future that they're mostly incomprehensible to you, to times so far in the past that cavemen and cavewomen were fighting dinosaurs to survive. And all of these visions and experiences are put into proper context in seconds, and you suddenly find yourself, oh my god, with 50,000 extra experience points.
Holy crap.
Whoa.
You heard me.
50,000 XP?
Yeah.
Oh, my word.
Your mind has
Okay.
basically just been assaulted with the memories of 50,000 rogues.
All seeing.
Are you
Wow,
okay, Ingrid?
We're gonna
I
have
don't
to
know.
we're gonna have to do a long leveling session before our next game for Ingrid specifically.
Ingrid's OP now.
I just
I don't
came
even
in
know
and
what
be like,
level that
oh my
makes
god, what's
you.
going on?
I don't know what exact level that makes you. We may have to tweak the specific amount because I know this deck is optimized for D&D. So I'll have to look at
Mhm.
what level that would make you in D&D and convert that to Pathfinder experience points, but you get the gist.
Sure, it's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Regardless.
Ingrid, you look wiser.
Oh yeah, I would say that would actually have an effect on you. The trope, right, is a
Mhm.
lock of your hair turns white.
Ooh, all right. That's kind of cool.
I'm kind of nervous for the next card.
Me too.
Uh,
I'm terrified. Watch me roll the sun again. No, that wouldn't work because that's as soon as you draw a card, it disappears and goes back onto the bottom of the deck.
Well, there's
Here
no
we
going back now.
Yeah, here we go. Oh God. Oh. Okay, that's also a good one. Huh. Go figure. Okay, so you start to draw the next card. And your gambler's like intuition makes you realize before you draw the next card that it looks kind of dangerous. It's been kind of crumpled up, and
Ugh.
you start to see what looks like a illustration of a skull, but you manage with your gambler's insight to overpower the magical compulsion of the deck and pull the next card underneath it with a quick sleight of hand instead. And you see
Yes.
a detailed illustration of what appears to be a throne. What the throne card does is, it's been a long time. This generator doesn't actually say what they do, which is annoying. It just shows the image. I believe what the throne card does is the character becomes a true leader in the people's eyes. So what this essentially means is what you did in life while you have been gone, people have been ruminating on the difference you've made in their lives, and they hold you in extremely high esteem. So at least in the communities that you come from and that you've affected, you gain a +6 bonus to all diplomacy checks,
Whoa. Okay.
and and the fates have conspired to have the people build you a castle in your absence.
Amazing.
But we're just standing here like, huh, that one didn't really seem to do anything.
Yeah, you're just like, huh.
Well, I mean, that's pretty cool to think about.
All
No,
right,
she's
Nushi,
just
do
kind of
you want to
staring at
try
the
and draw
cards.
one?
I have an awful luck, but screw it. No, she announces that she's going to draw one.
Oh, shit.
Really?
Okay, here we go.
Oh.
Again, she's
Huh.
already dead.
You guys are really lucky today. The odds of getting 3 good cards in a row, considering it's a 50-50, is astronomical. But as you start to draw the card, you see on it an illustration of a gym. It's extremely intricate and very stylized. What happens immediately after drawing the card is 50 gems appear in your hand. These gems are so perfectly cut that each one is probably worth 2,000 gold pieces.
Wow.
Nice.
I'll give you some for your experience. I know that's not possible.
You guys are extremely fucking lucky.
Biru. Are
Yep.
you going to?
No, I am happy.
Yeah, I was about to say that is a good fucking choice. The statistical chance of drawing another good one is like, that'd be like getting bit by a shark and struck by lightning at the same time. Technically not impossible, but I wouldn't fucking risk it.
I'm happy what I have right now.
I
Aw.
respect that.
Squeaks the mouse in his mouth.
Yeah, I already have the mouse. I don't need the card.
Yeah, I was fully expecting the first card to be like dungeon, just like, oh well, you disappear and you find yourself in an oubliette in a place you don't recognize.
Well, I mean, that could have been a solution right there to our current predicament.
Could have been. All right, so what now? Actually, I would like everyone to roll me a perception check.
Sure thing.
What if I say no?
I would say, did you come to play D&D or not?
But I didn't come to traumatize my character more.
23.
Also, hello, Spicy.
13.
Okay. So outside, all three of you hear the sound of footsteps approaching the cabin. But who got the 23?
Oh, that was me.
You, Ingrid, um, hear that these footsteps sound a little off. It sounds like whatever is doing this, maybe it's got a limp or something. And then suddenly you remember you've heard that very distinctive footstep before. A long time ago, you met an undead creature named Iktuzi that sold you a magical map. And you remembered, as Iktuzi walked away from you, that they had a single foot, and their other foot, their footprints were basically facing outwards, like the big toes were facing in the wrong directions. And as you looked, you noticed that one foot was attached to their body and their other foot was attached to the bottom of their staff. And you're like, oh my god, I think I might know who that is.
Oh, yeah. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. Episode 1, baby. As you guys stand here waiting, you hear the door open.
I quickly grabbed the monkey's paw.
2 of them.
2 monkey's paws, baby.
Are they exactly the same?
Yep. Exactly the same. All right. So what do we do, gang?
Go check it out, I
Yeah.
guess.
Is this the guy that Beru hugged?
Yes. I had to think about that. I'm like, Beervu has hugged a lot of. All right. So I'm gonna pull their image up on the screen. And just give me 1 second to make sure I have the right NPC showing.
I whisper to Ingrid, do you think whoever it is wants to play cards?
No, I've had enough cards for today.
That's fair.
Oh,
You look really
come
worn down.
on. Please don't crash on me, Photoshop. What the hell is happening, Photoshop? Why are you acting so strange?
Did you remember to restart your computer today?
I did. It's just something's weird with Roll20 these days. It like takes way more processing power than it ever did in the past.
Well,
On
It
top of
does feel
Photoshop.
slower.
while you
Yeah.
work this out, I take my mirror out of my bag so Ingrid can see her new hairstyle.
Whoa! I got a white streak.
Look, we almost match. Kinda.
I'm like 10% there.
You'll get there one day. No, she really wants to be friends with Ingrid. It's not going great.
No, I feel pretty. I'm looking stylish. It's like what all those kids do. They dye their hair.
Weak.
I think you're just jealous, Beaver. You don't have any white in your hair.
What?
All right, I got it working. Man, is it going slow.
I don't have any hair. I
Okay.
have fur.
Dog fur is similar to human hair.
All right. So as you guys walk downstairs, you see Iktuzi standing in Charon's living room, and he looks up at you and goes, "Huh. Fancy meeting you three here."
I
I
give
look
him
at
a
his
hug.
skull.
Give him a hug, and I say thank you for the apple.
Just as before, when you go to hug him, you feel as though there is not a body underneath that cloak. He
I'm
goes,
looking at
yeah, you're welcome.
I'm looking at the skulls and I'm like, does he shop at the same place as Beru?
No, these are real skulls.
I go quiet. I'm just. What?
Do you live here?
I've been working as the ferryman ever since Charon quit.
Oh, sorry
How
for the
long ago was
crates.
that?
Oh, about 600 years ago. Well, time is relative. 600 years in primaterial plane time. I suppose in this plane's time it would be quite a bit shorter than that.
How's work?
Yeah, I mean, it's work. He goes, oh, by the way, it's not so much the work I care about. I have no interest in jobs or money. However, this particular position does give me a unique opportunity as the ferryman of lost souls. I get to meet quite a number of interesting folk.
How do you get here and back?
Oh, how do I get here? And it's quite simple, although in order to understand planar travel, I'm afraid you'd have to invest an entire lifetime into studying the arcane arts.
I have like a 9. I'm joking. How does one get a job doing this?
Oh, well, I just happened to know Hades, and when Charon quit, he offered me the job.
Ah, so it's connections based.
Yeah, just like in real life, it's who you know.
It's not fair because they want you to have experience for the lowest jobs.
It's like, oh, well, I mean, fair. Well, I'm not going to get into it. But let's just say fairness is an illusion.
I have a
Tell me
question.
about it.
A question.
Yes.
Would you be mad if someone destroyed your stuff?
Of course.
Oh,
He looks around, he's like, oh, well, this isn't my stuff. This is Charon's stuff.
oh,
Do you have your own company supplied house?
No, I'm just I don't even stay here. I just come in every now and then to check on the place.
Oh my gosh, the dogs are great, aren't they?
Oh yes.
They're so
Good
good.
dog.
They're such good dogs.
It's like, I have to ask a question. He waves his hand in that journal that you took of all the names of the departed souls, like floats out of your possession and into his hand. Just like you feel your jacket being tugged on and it comes out of whatever pocket you stored it in. He opens it up and he goes, it's quite interesting. It's pretty rare I run across souls with an asterisk next to their name. I wonder what that could be about. And just as he says that, as previously when you first discovered this journal, you feel this like intense pressure headache in your skull. And you hear the sounds of a shovel digging again. And then you hear the sounds of someone prying open uh, like something that's been nailed shut. And again, this time all three of you hear it. This sort of like vaguely recognizable vocalizations of someone grunting. Because they're not speaking, you can't tell who it is, but you're like, I feel like I recognize that voice. And then it all fades away. He says, why on earth would the three of you be considered as not yet determined on whether or not you're actually dead?
Well, I'm going through a lot of mental health problems. And it's like I'm alive, but am I truly living?
I mean, mental illness does not preclude one from death, last I checked. But if you don't know, then you don't know.
I remember my master saying that I'm special.
He goes, I doubt it's that. No, it's never because someone's special. Just like the job, it's usually who you know. Speaking of which, Seeing as how you have an asterisk next to your name, I am not allowed to ferry you until we clear this issue up. So,
Speaking of up, you could take us back to Earth?
no, I
The
can't do
planes?
that. However, seeing as how the three of you have been relatively a friendly sort, and I enjoy helping people, as you are no doubt aware by the map I handed you, and the other services I said I would provide if you ever needed them, as we're standing here in limbo right now, I'm curious, do any of you have any past loved ones? Someone who maybe died before you got the chance to say your goodbyes who you'd wish to speak to? I could probably arrange such a thing.
Not
Nushi
certain.
kind of gulps.
I think for a second, but I never learned what happened to my parents. I don't even know if they're dead, but I ask if they are.
He says, do you know your last name by any chance?
Do I?
Do you?
Do I?
I don't know. Do
Oh.
you?
Last
Look in the book.
last name is Varga.
He's like, Varga, all right. He looks through the book. He's like, it appears as though your parents are still alive, unfortunately. So in this moment, I won't be able to bring you that closure. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, that's a good problem to have.
I suppose. But what is the point of an alive parent if you don't even know where they are?
We'll figure that out later.
Fair. He looks at Nushi. He's all like, you, perhaps? That look on your face would suggest some sort of thought going on in your mind.
I do have someone I would like to meet, but it's complicated.
Complicated. Well, if you don't take this opportunity now, you'll probably never have it again. Would be a shame to spend the rest of your life wondering what could have been.
Well, it's complicated because my last name right now was not my original last name, and my original last name turns out I'm not even related to the person I got it from, and my mother had that name, but then she was executed, and I don't know what her last name was.
Well, as long as she held that name at some point in life, I can look her up in the book.
I've got a wee problem, Appa.
Oh?
I never wrote what the original last name was.
I mean, just because you didn't write it down doesn't mean your character wouldn't know it. So let's
That's
make
true.
it up on the spot.
Triton.
Triton. Very well. He looks through the book. He's like, yes. I do indeed see a matriarch who has at one point in their life been known by the last name of Triton. So would you care to speak to this individual?
I would like that.
He goes, very well. Says, last name Triton, first name Kalizana. He snaps his fingers, and you see that the floorboards beneath you, the liquid of the river Styx starts to pull up between the cracks between them until eventually there's a puddle there, and it starts pulling up even more, and then eventually forms a figure silhouette similar to one that your memories associate with your mother. And then over time, it starts to take more and more form and more shape until standing before you, you see a face you haven't seen in a very long time.
Quick question, does she have the injuries from the execution, or...?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Blood red hair and orange eyes. But standing before you is your mother. She takes a look around in surprise and confusion for a moment before turning her attention to you and then smiling with a warm, contemplative, but somewhat confused expression, somewhat worried expression. She looks at you and says, Nushi?
No, she's crying, and she makes some kind of god-awful noise and just nods.
Kalizana looks at you and she places her hand on your cheek and says, I never thought I'd see you again.
Mom?
She gives you a hug. She just pulls you right into her.
I'm
Then
just weeping like a baby.
she pats your hair for a minute, then places her hands on your shoulders and pushes you back so she can take a look at you again and says, Are you dead?
To be determined. I look nervously at the skeleton guy.
She says, Well, you were always a tough one. Tell me, seeing as how we have this opportunity now, let's make the most of it. Is there anything I can do to help you right now? Anything I can help you understand? Any questions you might have? We left each other with a lot to unpack.
I start shaking my head, but then I'm like, do you know who my father actually was?
I believe so, yes. Based on the magic you developed, I believe your father might have been a man who I fell in love with for a time by the name of Volta. If you were to search him out, you would find him studying magic in the city of Shidaiga.
I shiver, because isn't that the place we were trying to go to before?
Yep.
Okay, we died.
She goes, well, seeing as how your fate is yet to be determined, maybe you'll have another opportunity.
I just sort of shake my head. Because there's like all these things I want to ask her. But I also know there's no point, because it's the past and there's something that can be changed about it.
Well, sure, you can't change the past, but it might be able to bring some closure. I'm here now if you have any questions. Don't be shy to ask.
Just why would you cheat on the king, warlord?
Because, well, it's right there in the name, Warlord. It was never my choice to be in a relationship with that man. That man does not understand the word or the meaning of the word choice. He takes what he wants and believes very vehemently in the ideology of might makes right. Nothing about what he thinks or what he does maintains any sort of coherence. Everything he says he believes, his actions show that he does not. He believes in nothing, stands for nothing, and cares for nothing but power.
Lucy just kind of nods in agreement.
She says, being with that man was like being a prisoner in a cell that I couldn't see or feel, but a prison nonetheless. And when I met Volta, he was different. He treated me the way I always wanted. He treated me like a person. He didn't have any expectations. He shared himself openly with me and listened thoughtfully when I spoke. Like I said, I fell in love.
If I get out, is there anything you want me to tell my siblings?
Just tell them that I love them and that I hope they take good care of themselves.
Okay, Ma.
She gives you another hug. Then she asks you one more time, is there anything else you need? Any more closure I can offer?
The problem is because Nushi was so young that she doesn't really have any questions to ask. There's no questions she's really had to think about.
Hey, fair. If that's all you have to ask, that's all you have to ask.
She just hugs her mum tightly.
She hugs you back, and she looks at Iktuzi and looks at you and says, well, if that's all, I don't want to take up any more time. I was lucky enough to end up in an afterlife with some meaning in it, and I do have some responsibilities to attend to. Community I have to take care of. The thing about dying is you move on. You find some new meaning. And although you'll always be my daughter, I have found a new family. And once you pass on, I hope we go to the same place so that you can join us.
Which place is that, Mum?
She goes, it's known as Elysium.
No, she just starts nodding her head.
She gives you another hug, pats you on the head a few times, and then turns to Ictuzi, takes a deep breath, and says, thank you. Ictuzi nods and he says, I like to help. And
Be
she
well.
says, she turns to you and gives a nod and a wave, and she says, you too. Then she tells Ictuzi, all right, you can send me back now. He snaps his fingers again, and she just turns into that purple liquid and falls through the floorboards. Ictuzi
No, she
turns back to you.
goes to hug Ictuzi. Says thank you.
Yes, of course. He hugs you back, and he says, where I can help, I try. It makes me feel better. All right. So, what? He turns to you three and says, "So, I guess now all there is to do is to sit here and wait to see if. Oh, you know what? There may be one more thing I can do to maybe help you three. You see, Charon was, well, he was convinced he was being ripped off by his employers. So one of the things he did to try and counteract that was he took bribes from ferried souls to take them to nicer places than where they were destined. Those who could pay well enough. Charon would take to Elysium instead of the underworld. Corruption exists everywhere. No being, no matter how magical, is beyond it. And he kept that stuff in a vault underneath his home. You would feel free to have a look around, see if there's anything you might like to take with you.
May I put in one last request?
Yeah, sure.
I do know of someone who is in fact dead that I could potentially speak to, if I may.
Sure. Let's hear it.
I look to Logan's family ring resting on my hands, and I think of his father, who, if I recall correctly, was a very talented magician and would certainly have some sort of advice.
Do you know this fella's name?
Oh, do I know his name?
Yeah. It's he's known as Caligari Senior
Yes,
or Dr.
Caligari
Caligari.
Sr. Dr. Caligari.
He goes, that one's going to be difficult. Caligari is a unique case. He's like, but I'll try my best. He snaps his fingers, and you see like water start to pool up and shoot up violently. Drops of water shooting both up through the floorboards and down through the ceiling, creating this hologram in front of you that looks like static is running through it. And you see the face of a man whose entire body seems to be made out of gold, and his eyes are covered with a blindfold, and he looks around and he goes, huh? Where am I? Who are you? What do you want?
Oh, I don't. We've never had the pleasure of meeting before, but I guess you can say I'm sort of the apprentice of your descendant Logan.
He goes, Logan, Do I know what? Do I know a load? Send. Uh. Uh. Well. What do you want?
We're kind of in an interesting predicament right now, with the entire world being very changed and us being defeated by some very powerful enemies. I'm hoping if you can give me any sort of advice or guidance on how to proceed with this.
He was fighting against powerful foes. I suppose if you came to my manor, I could equip you with whatever you needed, if provided you could provide the proper payment.
Sure. Where's your manor?
She's like, oh, it'll be hard to find. Um, you have to take a left at the 45th chronological cog, and then straight on until the end of time.
I think that's reasonable. I'll see if I can catch you next time I'm in the area.
All right. What was your name again? I'll write it down. I forget things I don't write down.
Sure. My name is Ingrid.
Okay. He writes it down on a piece of paper, and then as quickly as he showed up, all those like violent passages of like water flowing all around the room quickly disappear. And Ictuzi's like, he was in a slightly more lucid state today than usual.
I'm not sure what I expected, but we got something out of that.
And he goes, well, he's a tragic man. Spent so much of his life running from death. Doesn't seem to realize it's going to catch up with him eventually.
Did it work though?
It's working at the moment, but as you can see, it's having he's paying a price with the lucidity of his mind.
Surely.
All right, everyone. At that moment, you hear the sounds again. Your brain fills with like this pressure headache. Your ears start to ring, and you hear this strange, like, awful noise of like sutures going through skin, of electricity surging, of what sounds like hacksawing noises, hammering noises, riveting noises, just the strangest cacophony of sounds. And then your vision starts to turn black, and all of a sudden, just before you lose consciousness, you hear a familiar voice, although it sounds a little changed. You hear the voice of Abraham Van Holten, the healer you met at the carnival when all this started, say, well, hopefully that did it. And with a sudden gasp as air fills your lungs again for the first time since you were brought down here, you look around and see that you are lying on operating tables that have been set up inside the tomb of Nystel. The entrance to a Nystel's true tomb, the hidden floor, seems to have been barricaded. And standing in front of you is someone who looks kind of familiar, but something is wrong. It's Abraham, but he appears to be much older. He's hunched over, he's grown a beard, there's a bunch of gray in his hair. He looks you all over and says, oh my god, it actually worked! You have any idea how hard it is to suture flesh back together when it's been burned almost to a crisp, fricasseed beyond recognizability by dragon's fire?
Nushi
Why
blows
go
her
through the
nose.
effort?
Oh, did I lose my squeaky toy?
Yep. Sorry, Nushi, what did you say?
I blow
No.
my nose. It's still snotty.
You actually notice that a blood clot comes out when you blow your nose.
Ah!
He goes, well, it's like, why bother? Well, simply put, in the short time I knew you three, it became very clear that you were people trying your best to be your best. You may not have done the best at all times, and you may be flawed like all people, but the world needs more folk like you right now. He looks around and then he goes, oh, here it is. And he grabs a mirror and he holds it up to you three, and you see that you look more or less the same as you did before, except your bodies are now covered in scars and sutures and staples. He put your bodies back together, it would seem.
I am horrified.
Zombie dog.
I'm in shock.
Like, you have any idea how hard this was? You should be more grateful. It took all of my modern scientific know-how to put you back together.
Oh, I don't
What's
know
my
whether to
bucket
be
hat?
thankful or to scream.
He's like, I, I never stopped to consider the possibility that this might be shocking and traumatizing for the three of you. I guess I should have realized
I
that.
called you Dad. I called you Daddy.
Yeah, I mean,
This is how you treat your metaphorical daughter?
I gave you life. Well, I mean, I gave you real
guess-
life.
I guess you're my real dad now, but you're... Lucy's brain breaks a little bit. She's in too much shock.
He's like, look.
This is unnatural.
He's like, look, all right, I'm trying my best to help out with an extremely unfortunate situation we're all in. Things have gotten very dire, or I wouldn't have resorted to trying to resurrect old heroes in the first place. You have no idea how much things have changed while you've been gone.
Wait, heroes?
Well, you didn't do much heroing work for very long, but the small amount you did do, people remembered it. People cared. Saving that little goblin girl, for starters, and your shenanigans with the Sahagwan didn't go over as well as we would have hoped, but, well, let's just say the Sahagwans found friends with the Fishermen's Union once they both realized that the only reason the Sahagwan tail market existed in the first place was because all the demand was coming from the very royalty that was oppressing them both.
That's nice.
Yes,
Wait.
well,
The dragons.
The dragons.
The dragons.
yes, well, you see, that's a part of the problem. The Sahagwan and the Fishermen's Union, they're fighting back against the royalty. We've got a literal war on our hands, and a warlord from the far west has partnered up with a detachment of red kobolds who have also partnered up with a detachment of white kobolds who are attempting, in all the chaos, to take advantage of it and to more or less recolonize the land in the name of said warlord.
Okay, but the dragons, we left them in hell?
Yes. Oh,
Or,
you mean
and,
your pet dragons?
yes, but the problem is they're growing?
Oh, don't worry about that. He points over to the corner of the room where you see your two dragons are laying on the floor, cuddled up together, and they are roughly 75% bigger than they were before. They're approaching the size of slightly larger than like a average like big dog.
Lucy sighs in relief.
I shouldn't have said 75%. I should have said 75 times.
Oh, that's a lot more than 75%.
Yep.
She's
went from these
relieved because they can't grow more.
Yeah. He's like, you three have been gone for, oh my, I believe it's been, oh, how long has it been? 15, 20 years, somewhere in that ballpark. I lost track.
Oh no.
I've been resurrecting so many folk lately.
But it was only
Wait.
a day.
Who else?
Only a day. What?
Wait.
Who else? Nobody I think you know, but people from history, people whose graves I managed to track down.
Huh, okay. So there's more of us around.
Oh yes, quite a few actually. Doing the best they can where they can. If you want my advice, I'd recommend having a look around and seeing for yourself how things have turned out. The resistance against the encroaching warlord's army, you can find them at a small fort to the north. And that's where we're going to leave tonight, everybody.
Whoa.
Well, I think I worked out what the asterisk means.
So wait, does that mean I lost my bucket hat?
Yep.
Damn.
Wait,
Did you
what
say-
about my hand?
And the hand.
My monkey paws and my like 2,000 gems.
Yeah, no. The everything that you received through magical sources is going to still be there.
So I don't have the monkey paws.
No, you still have those because they're magical items.
Okay.
The magical items and the things you got through magic are going to stay. The
So I
things
lost my
that
cart?
yes, you did.
No!
Goomba showed up just at the end. Sorry, Goomba, but you can watch the VOD. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed it. It's probably going to be like 2 or 3 weeks before the next session is ready, but it's coming. You have my word on that. I'm definitely working on it. I want to thank my friends for playing along with me. It's nice to have you all back. Let's see here. What else is there to go over? Yeah, that basically sums it up. So in that case, yeah, I just want to thank everyone in the chat who came, Secret, Goomba, Icy, I'm Rick, everybody who came by. I really do appreciate it. It absolutely means the most. I hope you're enjoying the game as much as I'm enjoying, hosting it. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you all for playing. I really, it was really nice having you back.
That was
Yeah.
so cool.
I'm so upset we didn't get to the basement though.
Well,
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
offered
couldn't have
you all
taken
those
anything.
items and you didn't get them anyway.
Well, for the final digging up, I was gonna be like, no, she gets a feeling she wants to go to like the basement.
Yeah, no, I was rug pulling you on purpose there. I gave you two monkey's paws and a deck of mini things and what was it, a hand of glory, and that I was all like, I was giving you so much treasure in that one thing. I was like, I could give them more treasure, but that would be ridiculous at this point.
And you didn't even let Braun keep his mouse.
Oh, lost my
Braun got
mouse.
nothing.
I got nothing.
Don't worry, y'all. There's more exciting stuff to come in the next session. I'll leave you with a tiny spoiler if it's to help tide you over. Remember, Ingrid pulled a card that made her into a folk hero, and she now owns a castle.
Oh,
So just
Yeah,
keep
but we
that in the
don't know
back of your
that.
mind. Oh, I know you don't know that, but metagame wise you do. So just keep that in the back of your mind, and you have something to look
we
forward
have
to.
a headquarter.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I should probably get going, but thank you all for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Before I do leave, though, any feedback? Like, what did you like? What did you not like? What really worked for you? What didn't?
Get the fish.
Bummer.
Worst session ever.
The
0 out
fishing,
of
the
10.
fishing section got cut out.
Flip the table.
No fishing mini game. I really loved all the callbacks to episode 1. Like that was really cool. I really do need to go back and watch all the episodes just so I like fully catch up on everything. I feel bad that I was going into this like not being able to fully understand everything. But I really do appreciate all the work that sort of went into for those callbacks. Not to mention just the level of depth and exploration that one tiny house had was very impressive.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I have plans to bring back at least like 65% of every NPC you've met.
Makes
Not to
sense.
mention like
Awesome.
the Days of Future Past X-Men storyline. Like that's the vibes I'm getting, and I'm pumped. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Cool. I'm glad. So anything else? Anybody got anything, any like critique for me? Sounds like maybe not.
It was a lot of fun, Appa.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll take that as a compliment. All right then. I'll see y'all later. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, bye bye. It's been a pleasure, y'all.
See
Bye
ya.
bye.